The film commences with Chuck being utterly taken aback. He was astounded to discover that the opulent mansion he had acquired for a considerable amount of money was leaking rainwater. He promptly took a photograph of the problem and sent it to the property agent, inwardly cursing him. Subsequently, he proceeded to his wife Maria's studio to ascertain if there was any water leakage there as well. His wife, Maria, a fashion designer, was conducting a live session and sharing her designing experiences. Fortunately, her studio remained completely dry. Chuck's gaze fell on the old modeling dummy standing in the corner of the room, which his wife liked so much that she brought it with her to the bungalow. After that, he went outside the bungalow to check if there were any issues outside as well. Just then, his neighbor approached Chuck. He was surprised about how they ended up with this bungalow. During their conversation, the neighbor revealed the secret that the previous owner of the house had committed suicide in it. Chuck was completely taken aback upon hearing this because the property agent hadn't shared this info, so he went back to check the leakage photos again. That's when he spotted a shotgun in one of the pictures, but there were no weapons in his house, leaving him puzzled. Where did they come from? But the strange occurrences didn't stop there. The next morning, while he was strolling in the bungalow's garden, he noticed his wife's modeling dummy, which was oddly standing in the garden. Just then, the neighbor came over again to observe the situation. Chuck suspected that it might be his sister's prank because a few months ago, their mother's death in an accident had affected his sister's mental state somewhat. The neighbor advised Chuck to pay attention to his sister's mental health. He also suggested that he visit the library nearby. He read about the history of the area. Alongside, he was invited to attend a meeting of a local group. In the afternoon, he went to the library and, while flipping through the books, found one detailing the deep history of this small village. As he was about to leave, he noticed some books scattered on the floor. He also saw a crying girl who warned him not to take too much interest in the secrets of this place, as the consequences could be very dangerous. However, Chuck dismissed her as mad and ignored her words. He ignores it and takes the books to the library counter. When the librarian saw the new books, her eyes widened in surprise. She immediately warned him not to explore this particular place, as no one has managed to reach there yet. He explains that he hasn't thought of anything like that. He just wants to understand the history. He also mentions the crying girl and the books scattered on the floor. The librarian suddenly becomes serious and he quickly leaves from there. Then he quietly returns home. Upon reaching home, he began reading books related to a secret conference from 1980. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Standing outside was a student who had come for a music lesson. Chuck was a music teacher, and today was the student's first time learning music. Initially, the student was quite nervous, so he went to the kitchen to get some water to help lighten her mood. It might be possible, but suddenly the sound of a piano filled the entire room. It seemed as if it was a performance by a professional. The surprise was evident because when he turned around, the student was standing at the kitchen door. Seeing this, both were quite astonished. When he turned back towards the piano, everything had become quiet, and the woman the student had mentioned was nowhere to be found. This sight frightened her considerably. She immediately ran away from there. That night, Chuck was alone because his wife had gone out of town for work. He proceeded to attend the garden club meeting as recommended by the neighbor. At the meeting, a discussion was unfolding on an extremely sensitive subject which the villagers typically prefer to avoid. There were merely 6 individuals present at the meeting when he observed that the gentleman who is employed at the library was also in attendance. They were conversing about a young girl named Helen Foster who had recently made an attempt at suicide. The librarian remarked that it brought to his mind an old incident from the year 1980 when a woman named Helen. She tragically ended her own life. Her daughter was continuously harassed at school and nobody offered any assistance. In her profound anger and deep sorrow, Helen took her life by shooting herself at home. Since then, each year there's been an enigmatic suicide in the village. The villagers are convinced it's all due to Helen's lingering spirit. They believe that until the truth about Helen's house, which no one can locate now, is uncovered, this issue will persist. The meeting was gradually becoming dull, so it was decided to bring it to an end. However, as soon as Jack stepped outside, he heard the laughter of a woman coming from the nearby old church. He returned home feeling anxious and went to his sister Isabel's room. Isabel was still struggling to cope with the grief of their mother's passing and often had nightmares in which she repeatedly saw her mother. Whenever this happened, she would come to Jack to share her fears and lighten her heart. In the evening, Isabel's school friend came over to their house. He had lived in the village since childhood and was familiar with many of its eerie tales. He recounted the entire story of Helen's suicide to Isabel in great detail. That night, while Isabel was sleeping, the bathroom light turned on by itself. She turned it off, but a short while later, it happened again. Thinking the switch was faulty, she removed the bulb and placed it on the bedside table. However, as soon as she tried to sleep again, something very strange began to happen. The mysterious occurrences showed no sign of stopping. When Isabel opened her eyes in the morning, she saw that the sun had already risen outside. At first, she thought it was just a bad dream, but when she noticed the bulb on her bedside table, she realized that everything that happened last night was indeed real. Isabel immediately decided to tell her friend about it. Just then, she received a call from her brother, urgently asking her to return home. When Isabel arrived home, she found her sister-in-law Maria quite shaken. In fact, sometime earlier, Maria had been conducting a live session in her design studio. At that time, yes, aunt, the dummy model's hand behind her. It starts moving on its own, and at the same time, her best friend, who was watching the live stream, immediately calls her. Maria thought that perhaps she wanted to comment on the bridal dress. So, Maria quickly made a video and sent it, explaining that the dress was already ready. But when she sat in front of the camera again, she was astonished. The Academy model had disappeared. She hadn't realized before that it was moving, and at that moment, her friend started sending message after message, urging her to leave the room immediately. However, Maria took these messages lightly and continued with her live stream. A little later, she went to Jaipur to show the dummy model's dress. When she arrived, she saw that it wasn't there at all. Suddenly, a loud noise came from the adjacent room. Maria was initially startled, but then cautiously made her way towards the room, where she realized the truth about the dummy model. Chuck heard everything and returned home without delay, and together they set the dummy on fire. Chuck explained that the previous owner of the bungalow had committed suicide there, so it was possible that some evil force was present. It was decided that they would lease the bungalow. It was suggested that she should pack up all her things and move to the college hostel, and at that point, her friend Isabel came to help. During this time, her friend noticed a picture hanging on the wall, which showed Isabel and her mum together. He pointed out something startling to Isabel, saying, "Your mum doesn't look at all like you've described her. In the picture, your mum and her presence seem completely different." Isabel was taken aback and immediately explained, "My mum passed away in an accident just a few months ago." Hearing this, her friend was also shocked. He had seen his mum walking around the house some time ago. Both were pondering this confusion when they heard the sound of dishes falling in the kitchen below. They nervously went downstairs, but as soon as they descended, it was as if the entire atmosphere of the house had changed. The room had become noticeably colder. The wind was blowing in a strange, sobbing manner. Her friend couldn't endure all this and left on some pretext. Just then, Isabel heard a faint voice calling her name from behind. Trembling with fear, she looked but saw nothing. Suddenly, Maria appeared and attempted to halt her. Nevertheless, Isabel was determined to unravel the mystery. Both of them, filled with fear, hurried to their respective rooms. Shortly afterwards, a piercing scream echoed from Maria's room. Isabel dashed towards her, and the door was gradually opening by itself. Maria was utterly terrified inside the room. She arrives. There was fear on her face, and blood was dripping from her nose, but she was not even aware of what was happening to her. Once the situation calmed down a bit, Isabel's friend returned. He had an old map in his hand. He explained that by combining the 1923 planner's book with the current city map, he had discovered the exact location of a very old place. The name is 825 Forest Road, which is also the name of the story. Checkup had decided that he would personally go and speak to the person who had deceived his wife. Isabel insists on going with him. Just then, an agent arrives outside. They came to seek help for the ad shoot, but Check had to immediately leave for that important task. Maria's condition? She was already normal. She stays back to help the agent as something seemed amiss. Therefore, she asked her friend to stay with Maria. Meanwhile, Chuck and Isabel set off together towards the old address, which is 825 Forest Road. On the way, Chuck said that if it turns out to be the same house, he would set it on fire. Meanwhile, Malia was helping the agent with the ad shoot, but suddenly the agent started speaking in some strange unknown language. Meanwhile, Chuck and Isabel had reached a dilapidated house after passing through a dense forest. They broke a window to get inside and began searching for a sign resembling a number. Isabel slowly went up to the upper floor and noticed that the mansion looked exactly like Chuck's house from the inside, just as a shadow passed behind her. At the same time, Maria, who was at home, suddenly started talking about events from 1980. She said that her daughter was badly bullied at school and had asked for help many times, but no one extended a hand. In fact, the spirit of the woman who had committed suicide, that is, Helen, had completely possessed Maria's body. Meanwhile, Jack found a wooden box buried underground. It contained many letters that had been written to the school. These letters were written by the same woman's hand, but they had all been returned. Her home address was also written on the letters. Chuck realizes that the address of the previous house, which was the woman's home, and the address of this house, that is, 825 Forest Road, are the same. This is the reason why the spirit arrives at this residence, because it was once her home. When he apprehensively ascended to the upper floor to retrieve Isabel, as he urgently needed to depart, Isabel was standing motionless in a single location. Concurrently, Isabel's companion also became persuaded that something peculiar was occurring with Maria. She intentionally inquired about the name of her daughter. Abruptly, Maria began shrieking loudly and laughing maniacally. After some time, everything settled down. Isabel's companion assumed the spirit had departed, but Isabel's eyes were wide open in amazement as An unseen force tightly clasped her shoulders. Observing this, Chad hurriedly moved in her direction. He swiftly attempted to rescue Isabel, but unexpectedly, an invisible power dragged both of them into the ancient chamber. It is revealed that the spirit of the woman, Helen's spirit, had also ensnared Isabel and Chuck as its prey and ended their lives. She was enacting this as retribution against the townspeople, because during that period, the townsfolk failed to provide any assistance, irrespective of whether someone was innocent or otherwise. Anyone who dares to enter is undoubtedly destined to meet their demise, as she engages with them in numerous ways to claim their lives. She will persist in doing so until her enigma is unraveled and her spirit attains tranquility. And with this chilling conclusion, the narrative of the film reaches its end.